Rolling.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the second installment of the Seed Sheet Live Gardening Tutorial and Q&A. Waiting for my computer to catch back up here, but goal of this week is to recap what we did last week when we planted all 6 of our different seed sheet products, and here we are to check in, see how our babies are growing, and we'll walk through what the next steps are depending on which sheets you have growing and what the next tasks are for you to enjoy your homegrown harvests. So, to start off, as a quick recap, we're going to look at what we did last week. And so that was the actual process of planting your new seed sheet. So what we're going to do to recap really quick, I have one of our Caprese kits from last week. We're going to put this down, seed side down, directly on top of soil. We're just going to run through this really quick, just in case you missed it. You can also watch last week's Facebook Live video by just scrolling down on your Facebook page there. You're going to put your stakes into the holes inside of the sheet and just slide them right down in. They go in nice and easy. We're going to take our nice and pretty little watering can here. This is our urban-friendly watering can. And really quick, in about 5 seconds, we're just going to apply water evenly with a misting setting or a drizzling setting in about 5-second increment. Your pouches, they're going to start to dissolve. We're going to wait 10 to 30 seconds, closer to 30 seconds, until the pouches, you can see they visibly start shrinking, and then they'll start to dissolve entirely. And you're just going to continue that process of watering for about 5 seconds, waiting for 30 until those pouches entirely dissolve. You can see them physically break open, and you'll see the soil that is inside of each one of those pouches, and that soil will be dry. When you're dissolving the pouch, it looks moist, but that's just the outside film. Once that fully dissolves, you need to continue watering until the soil is actually contained inside of those pouches is noticeably saturated, because your seeds need to come into contact with water to start the germination process. So just to make sure you're starting off on the right foot, 5 or 6 different processes where you water for about 5 seconds, wait for 30. All right, we're going to put this to the side now. That guy's ready for the next installment. Now we're going to check in. So this is our salad seed sheet. We planted this last Thursday, so that is 6 days ago.
Let's check it out.
Why don't we just come right in here for that? This is just all of its glory right here.
Oh, yeah.
And so this salad kit has your beet greens, your golden frills, which is a frilly mustard green, French breakfast radish, spinach, pea shoots, red Russian kale, arugula, and tatsoi. And what you can see here is we're starting to get some pretty good germinations. We're still waiting for our spinach to come up. That's going to be a little bit slower than the others, but that will be coming up here shortly. The main thing to remember is to just keep watering your seed sheet on a daily basis until all of your plants have really come up and started to really show themselves. We're going to do the same thing here, a quick 5-second water, try not to get water everywhere. And then we're going to wait, let that sink back in. If your plants fall over, you can, help them back up again. Hey buddies, we're here to play. It's all good. So, especially with a sheet like this is our salad seed sheet, like I said before. It will, in a short amount of time, transition from this, which is 6 days old, into this one right here. Boom! This is about 4 weeks old right now. And so you can see this is just a massive amount of food. So if we're going to compare the two, your pea shoots, which were in these guys right here, boop, 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 boop. That is now this long cascading vine of delicious goodness. And we actually even have some peas popping out too. Your beet greens, you can see they have those red stems. Those are really good in salads. You chop off those tops of the beets, they're really delicious. Your red Russian kale in the middle, really nice prehistoric looking thing. Your tatsoi, those are just really delicious in salads too. You have your radish, you have your frilly mustard greens over here too. Moral of the story, this is going to provide you with a lot of food. We'll start talking about how we're going to actually harvest from this next week, once our seed sheets become a little bit bigger in size, and we can start talking about how to thin, how to harvest in a way that's just going to make sure your seed sheet keeps on growing. You're going to want to still have a lot of delicious food on a weekly basis, so we're going to help you harvest it the correct way so it keeps coming back up. It keeps rejuvenating.
All right, so a couple questions here. One, to know which variety is which popping up in your seed sheet, make sure we check out the map on the back of your package here.
And so we mentioned this last time, the map on the back of the package tells you what is growing where, and it also has this little notch. You can see that V that's inside of that notch. If we look back at the garden right here that's growing, you can see that notch is right there too. So you're able to compare the map on the back of the package to the actual seed sheet that's growing, or if you got a custom seed sheet, we have a map that gets shipped in a brochure inside of the package that similarly tells you what's growing where. Okay.
One more question here. How much soil, Darlene asks here, how much soil goes in the container?
So it's a good question. This is about a 3.5 gallons of soil will actually fill this thing up to the brim. That's about a half cubic foot. So it's more like the typical bag of soil that you will see in a garden center is about 1.5 cubic feet. So if you get one of those typical size bags, you'll be able to have enough soil to fill 3 of these seed sheets. Or we also do ship full containers, which come with your seed sheet, which come with your saucer, which comes with the bag, which also comes with the soil. So if you don't want to go to a garden center and bring it back, especially if you're in an urban area, I helped my fiance plant her garden and had to go on the subway with 2 bags of soil over my shoulder and say I did not make many friends on that trip. So what we're going to look at next here is some of the other sheets that we planted in last week's first tutorial of how to plant your seed sheet. So the salad kit, I wanted to break this out first just because it's our fastest growing one. Like I said, this is 1 week old, this is 4 weeks old, so it grows really, really fast, and you'll be able to eat from it really, really soon. Next week, we'll actually snip off some pea shoots and have a little kitchen office meal.
Snack.
So we're going to put this guy away, and we're just going to grab Herbs Kit. This has been a pretty popular sheet, and as you can see, not much really going on right now. And that's totally fine. You can see right here, we have some of our scallions popping up and nothing else. And don't be alarmed. All that you're going to have to do, like we said before, is just keep on watering it. So that's again just going to be making sure those pouches are nice and moist. And you're really looking at the soil that's inside of those pouches. You're really wanting to make sure that that soil is nice and saturated. So that's good with that one. We'll send them back home. I'm going to grab our taco garden next here because this one is also a really fast-growing seed sheet. So with this one, you're going to see that there's already a whole bunch of pouches that are popping up, and those are your fast-growing varieties, like your salad greens in the middle there, your different types of radishes that are growing too, your scallions, and the cilantro hasn't popped up yet, very similar to the other herb sheet, which the cilantro is still working its way up. Some plants are a little lazy, you got to give them time. We're going to do the same deal here and just water it again really quickly and briefly, making sure that every pouch gets some moisture. One of the cool things that you just saw there is as you water it, our fabric here, this isn't a plastic. This is an actual fabric. So it's a non-woven material, so water will actually soak through it. So you're not going to have that mold that you'd usually get on the surface of your soil if you were just putting down a black plastic. So that's a really fun and cool type of material that is the fabric inside of a seed sheet. Like I said, next week we'll actually start talking about how to thin your seed sheet as more plants come up. This one here is our taco kit, and so you can see that we are already having multiple radishes popping up. And if we were to let all of these radishes grow without thinning them down to 1 or 2 in a pouch, we wouldn't develop any of the actual roots because they would be too constrained. It'd be too tight in there. So what we're going to have to do is wait until next week when those plants start to get a little bit more established. We'll be able to pull out the ones that are the runts of the litter, so to speak, and then we'll leave room for 1 or 2 inside of each pouch to really develop to their full osmos level so you can have some delicious homegrown taco toppings. One of the couple questions that we've had over the past week or so have been involving pests, and those types of pests include your squirrels, your birds, and the occasional dog too. So one of the things that I want to impress upon you is these are mobile. These are small. This is, again, only 1 square foot of space, so it doesn't need to take up a lot of space. And a lot of seeds, they do not require light to germinate. That means you could have them inside of your closet. And so long as you're watering daily and keeping that soil moist so that water comes into contact with the seeds and it starts this germination process, it doesn't need to be outside. So you can have it up on a windowsill, you can have it on a kitchen counter, you could have it inside of your house to make sure that until those plants pop up, you don't need to worry about squirrels rooting around in there for your seeds. You don't need to worry about birds landing on your seed sheet and eating those seeds out of there either. Or you can keep them up high enough where your dog isn't going to get into them. One fun fact is that the dissolvable film that we use inside of our seed pouches are actually certified edible and pet friendly. So if your dog does eat it, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it just means that you're going to have to get another seed sheet, huh? So they're mobile, they're light, they have handles. Put them inside. If you have a big weather event that's coming, a big rainstorm, just pick it up, bring it inside for the night, just to avoid it getting overflowed, overwatered. Put it underneath the eave of your roof if you have a question as to whether or not it's going to get too much water. It's small, it's light, you can move it around easily enough. So some of the other fun updates that we can talk about here. This is going to be a pretty short one this week. If you guys have some other questions, keep them coming, and we'll be able to answer it. Chris O'Leary, I almost said Kevin O'Leary. We're not on Shark Tank anymore. Chris O'Leary says, it's going to be a rough week weather-wise. What are your thoughts? All right, so that goes back to that point of their mobility. If it's going to be a rough week, meaning you're going to have lots of rain, pull it back inside, pull it out of a spot that could get it swamped. If it's going to be really hot, these bags do dry out pretty quickly, so making sure, especially if your seeds are in their young stage, your seedlings are just popping up, that you're watering once a day. If it's starting to really look at the soil inside of those pouches is really noticeably getting dry, water it in the evenings too. Doesn't take much water, it's just a quick 5-10 second splurge, but enough to keep them wet.
Katie's got a question here. There's some brown or tan areas on the top and side of the container. I'm not sure if that's referring to the container itself or the plants, but you can definitely send us a photo to our email info at seedsheets.com, and if you send us a photo, we can definitely help you out a little bit easier here with this. Not sure if what you're referring to is actually growing on the plants or if it's on your container, and if you have one of these fabric containers or if you have one of your own. So a photo would be awesome, and we could help you with that.
Yeah, info at seedsheets.com. Send us the pic. We'll help you diagnose and answer any questions that you have there. Couple new updates of what's in the pipeline here. One, Mother's Day. It's right around the corner. One of the really cool things that we have is the ability to customize a garden. Every mother is unique and special in their different ways. What are the types of flowers that represent your mom's personality? My mom asked a question on this last week, and I'm not going to answer any responses that she has this week, but I will say that, Mom, you got a custom seed sheet coming your way, and anybody else that's interested, we have 2 new flower types that are now inside of our custom seed sheets, and that is because we just sent it through our prototyping phase, and we have to test everything, make sure it germinates and flowers and looks really good. So let me introduce you to 2 of our new family members here. One is the limoncello sunflower. So we have these growing over here. You have these big yellow head sunflowers. It kind of has almost like a palish yellow, more of a lemon color than of a dark yellow. And that's really cool for size comparison. That's a nice big head there. So that's now an option inside of our custom seed sheets. So if you go to seedsheets.com/custom, you can see them. The other wicked cool one is the strawberry blonde sunflower. So this is a really cool type of plant. It has a yellow petals with this really nice pink, I don't know what you would call that, flare? Pink flare? Our flowers have flare?
A little ring around the...
Yeah, our pink ring. So that's a really cool one. That's also available on our custom platform. If you order this week through this weekend, that'll be enough time for us to process any orders and get them in the mail and out to you with time enough for Mother's Day. So that's basically it. If you have any other questions, reach out right now, or you can type them in the questions and we'll get back to it later. But it's been great, as always, talking with everyone here. We'll be back here again next week, back on our normal time of Thursday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll be looking to see how our seed sheets are doing. We'll be talking about how to thin them as necessary as they continue to grow and get a bit bigger. We'll talk about different recipes that you can use, since we'll be starting to eat some of our salad kits here. We got some fun stuff in the works with that. As always, let us know how your plants are growing. Send us pictures if you have any questions. We're happy to help answer anything that you have. Hit us up on Facebook, answer or ask any questions that you want in the comment section, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. And you have some awesome photos of your gardens growing, let us know. Do a hashtag seed sheet and throw it up on social media, and if we love it, we'll send it out to our followers, and we'll show everybody how strong your green thumbs are. So, awesome. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back here again next week, and happy gardening.